Netflix confirmed Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis will face off after both beat Mike Tyson. Jake couldn't resist mocking Gervonta's height, taunting him to be ready for the showdown. The fight is officially on, and the hype is real.
Is there a height limit in boxing?
It's a proud moment, isn't it? A YouTuber, known for his trash talk, just beat a living legend, though it was by a few points in a unanimous decision. But Jake's pride got the best of him with mockery. Bad move. Gervonta isn't just any opponent. He's undefeated, never having lost a single fight. Good luck, Jake. You'll need it.
Gervonta Davis just posted that he would beat the brakes off of you if you guys fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be down. Let's run it. Like, I'll be super down.
I don't know if Gervonta needs Jake Paul. Let's be clear, right?
Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. Yep, you read that right. Netflix confirmed this epic matchup, and it feels like they'd strapped us into a rocket fueled by pure boxing drama. Netflix, known for binging true crime and comfort TV, is now shaking up the boxing world with a fight that no one expected, but everyone's watching. And of course, at the center of it all is Jake Paul, the loudmouth YouTuber turned boxer who, whether by luck or sheer chaos, has the entire world talking. True to form, Jake wasted no time diving into his signature trash talk, this time mocking Gervonta Davis's height and asking, is there a height limit in boxing? Classic Jake, the self-proclaimed villain and internet's favorite problem child. The countdown to this wild fight has officially begun.
When is Gervonta Davis going to go somewhere in the power for power? Nui deserve to be in the power for power? Absolutely. Do Terrence Crawford deserve to be in the power for power? Absolutely. But what about Gervonta Davis? He deserves to be somewhere also in the power for power.
Why don't they give him that credit?
Because he was affiliated with me.
Let's talk about Jake Paul for a second. He burst onto the boxing scene in 2018, and honestly, it felt like a prank that we're all still caught up in. His boxing resume looks more like a celebrity roast lineup than a legit fight card. He took on Tyron Woodley, sure, great MMA fighter, but not exactly boxing royalty. He knocked him out in their second match, then fought Anderson Silva. Respect to Silva as an MMA legend, but he's far past his prime in the ring. And because Jake loves the ridiculous, he even stepped in the ring with Mike Tyson, who, at 58, could still probably end lives with one punch, but isn't exactly a title contender in 2023. So, while Jake's been making waves, the opponents haven't exactly been the toughest.
Just a quick word for you, for the people at home. We want to hear from you. Can I get a quick word? Just a sec, all right? Okay, no problem.
Jake Paul's 8-1 record with 6 knockouts might impress his YouTube fans, but let's be real. He's not exactly fighting the best of the best. Jake's biggest weapon isn't his right hook, it's his ability to make headlines, and he's brilliant at it. But that doesn't mean we should pretend he's on the path to becoming a boxing legend. His matches are more like spectacles, glorified exhibitions dressed up as something more significant. Now let's talk about Gervonta "Tank" Davis. If you want to see a real fighter, here's the guy who isn't posting videos for clout. Tank's stacking knockouts like he's on a mission, and at 29 years old, he's a total menace. With an undefeated record of 29-0 and 27 knockouts, Tank doesn't have time for Jake Paul's theatrics. He's too busy dismantling real boxers. And let's not forget, Floyd Mayweather himself mentored this beast.
I've always been there for him from day one. We had a game plan, and my game plan was to help him become world champion and take things to that next level.
Gervonta "Tank" Davis is the perfect blend of raw power and technical mastery. He didn't earn his nickname for fun. He's a human wrecking ball. Remember when he stopped Ryan Garcia with a body shot so brutal it looked like Garcia had been hit by a truck? Or when he sent Leo Santa Cruz to the canvas with an uppercut that likely haunts Santa Cruz in his sleep? Tank doesn't play games in the ring. He fights like he's settling blood feuds.
And I've always been there for him. And just over the years, you can see I've always been positive, always said great things about him, always pushed him to be great. And, but over the years, it's constantly going on the internet, take a shot at Floyd.
Gervonta Davis didn't hold back after Jake Paul's so-called victory over Mike Tyson. Instead of gloves, Davis came out swinging with words sharp enough to cut through Jake's overinflated ego. He straight up called Jake a whole bozo and roasted him for not even finishing Tyson, despite winning by unanimous decision. Jake may have left the ring with a win, but Gervonta was far from impressed. He referred to Jake as a *head and dismissed the entire fight as a joke, making it clear he wasn't buying into the hype.
With Gervonta saying to the bozo that shared the ring with Mike, "You a whole bozo for this, and you didn't get the job done, *head."
But here's where it gets even better. Davis took a moment to give Mike Tyson serious respect, calling him a legend and reminding everyone that no one will ever come close to Iron Mike. Just when you thought Gervonta was done, he doubled down with a threat that would make anyone's knees buckle.
He paid tribute to Mike, saying, "You will forever be a legend, rather you like it or not, and it will never be another one. And I understand you so well. All this don't mean nothing."
Gervonta Davis is ready to beat the brakes off Jake Paul, and he's made it clear exactly how he'll do it. Uppercut, left hook, uppercut, repeat. Jake's little height jokes, not so funny anymore. Davis is coming, and he's bringing bombs, not jokes. Let's see Jake laugh his way out of that one. Putting Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis in the same sentence feels borderline disrespectful to the sport of boxing. Jake's entire persona is built around ego, trash talk, and misplaced confidence, as if he can hang with the real fighters. Meanwhile, Davis has been proving himself against opponents who actually know how to throw and take punches. Sure, Jake has the height advantage, standing at 6'0", compared to Gervonta's 5'5". But let's not pretend it's going to save him from the beating Tank can deliver. Jake's mockery of Davis's height is painfully ironic. Gervonta has spent his career knocking out taller opponents, and focusing on size just seems like the weakest flex. Tank's compact, explosive fighting style is made to destroy, not to get caught up in schoolyard taunts. Jake, you might want to rethink those jokes. Davis isn't here to laugh, he's here to hurt people.
Tank Davis, he was a young kid, came up to me when he was a kid, wanted an autograph. I signed his phone for him and told him, "You'll be world champion someday, and I'll be your promoter." Years later, he was working with some people from our team, because our team is huge. We got guys in DC, Baltimore, Philly, New York, all around. He won a few fights. I think he was like 8 or 9-0. I told him, in under 24 months, you'll be world champion. Made the right moves, put him in the right position. He's a multi-millionaire now.
Absolutely.
He was a kid that couldn't even buy a bus ticket. Now he's a multi-millionaire.
Gervonta Davis is too busy preparing to crush skulls in the ring to waste time on Jake Paul's childish antics. Davis is a stone-cold knockout artist, and Jake's height jokes are about as effective as a fly trying to distract a lion. While Jake is chirping away for likes and shares, Davis stays cool, brushing off the nonsense. His silence speaks volumes. It's like he's silently saying, "Keep talking, Jake. I've got a surprise for you." Meanwhile, Davis's fans are going wild on social media, reminding Jake why they call him Tank. They know Davis has knocked out plenty of taller opponents, and they're confident he'll send Jake back to YouTube with a black eye. When it comes down to it, the contrast between their fighting styles couldn't be more stark. Jake Paul fights with brute force, trying to land one big game-changing punch. He's all about power and strategy, waiting for his moment to go for the knockout. This approach has worked for him so far, at least against hand-picked opponents who weren't exactly in their prime. But then there's Gervonta Tank Davis, a boxer who's a walking highlight reel. His speed is ridiculous, his timing flawless, and his punches land with enough force to knock the soul out of his opponents. When Tank fights, it's not just a match, it's a demolition job. Trained by Floyd Mayweather himself, Davis has the skills to back up his reputation. While Jake might have brawn, Tank has brains and the ability to end fights before they even start. And speaking of Jake's supposed advantages, let's not forget that Davis has taken down fighters with far longer reaches and bigger frames. Height doesn't scare him, and it certainly doesn't make Jake invincible. Gervonta's strategy is all about closing the gap, slipping punches, and turning his opponent's face into a punching bag. Jake's best hope is to use his jab to keep Davis at bay, but that's easier said than done. Tank's relentless pressure and explosive counters have made even giants crumble. So, while Jake keeps dropping his little height jokes, Davis is probably just sharpening his weapons, ready to remind Jake that boxing is a skill game, not a size contest. And don't even get me started on the mental game. Jake Paul has built an empire off getting inside his opponents' heads. He's the king of psychological warfare, making opponents doubt themselves before they even step into the ring. But Davis, he's a different breed. He's heard it all before. He's faced trash talkers, been doubted by critics, and still ended fights with brutal knockouts. His poker face under pressure is legendary, while Jake's antics are amusing, yet unlikely to faze someone who's been fighting real boxers since he was a teenager.